So we're doing our Diocesan Appeal. The diocese is really important. What is it, you ask? The entire church around the entire world is broken up into regions called dioceses. We belong to the Diocese of Grand Island. Fun fact, for about, interesting, where we are here. For about 4 years, there was a Diocese of Kearney, Nebraska. And eventually they found out there wasn't enough people there, and there wasn't enough trains, and it wasn't big enough, so they made it bigger. And that's why Greeley people and Spalding people are part of the same diocese, because they moved the boundary farther east and brought in some more people. So now we're the Diocese of Grand Island. Bishop Joseph Hannafelt is our bishop. He's in charge of shepherding this whole region. My job is to help the bishop in being the bishop of this place. So parish priests are an extension of the work of the bishop. So the diocese is this region. There's also a diocesan office, which exists down in Grand Island. It's in a strip mall. Some other dioceses make fun of us. But the person who owns the strip mall charges us $1 a year for rent. Not bad. And we had to extend, and he just built it on for us. A great donor takes care of us. Anyway, the diocese doesn't have its own separate parishioners, because it's just us. Like, we are the church. It's you and me. And so the diocese is supported through us, through parishes, and through your generosity as you support the diocese. Now, a few things that are really important that the diocese does. One, it's a huge support to us. Myself, I know Laura, Angie, people that work in this parish are in contact with the diocese weekly at least, if not numerous times. If it's a money question, we call Jean Ann. If it's a communication question, we call Greg or Angie. If it's an HR question, we call Greg. If it's a school question, we have a superintendent of all the schools of the diocese. His name's Jordan. We call him. So there's a lot of support that every parish requires that comes from the diocese. A lot of positions that we could not afford to have here at the parish. The diocese also runs the training of future priests, which we need future priests. Amen? Some of the ones you got, not so great. Anyway, my education in total costs about $250,000. And that was 8 years ago. It's probably getting up higher, closer to $500,000 to train a priest. You might be thinking, like, that's a bargain. Probably not. You're probably like, what do they do with the money? Did they not give them haircuts? Anyway, so it's expensive to train a priest, and we need priests. Like, Our Lady of Perpetual Help could not afford to train its own priests. Like, that's impossible. So we need that. Another couple things that are really important that the diocese does, there are certain ways in which they take care of priests for our continuing education. They make sure we go on a retreat once a year. Once we're retired, they make sure we have health insurance. The diocese also takes care of, in a particular way, and one thing that's really important is our Newman Center in Kearney and in Chadron. Newman Center in Kearney is an amazing place, and it's full of college students that are on fire, and they are excited. But they also are broke, and they don't have any money. So that parish, which is an incredible place, I can't tell you, every time I go there, I come back so inspired. These kids are on fire. They're doing incredible things, but they need money, they need support. The diocese also has youth programs that serve our parish. Totus Tuus is run through the diocese. They recruit and train team members to run our Totus Tuus program. So that's a really important thing that we all experience every year too. There's also retreats that go through the diocese. So today's a good day, even if you didn't give money, which we need you to give money, but even if you didn't, just to broaden our horizons of we're a part of a much bigger church. It's not just us. And there's something really beautiful going on that we're a part of, but it also requires all of us. So the diocese can seem like something kind of strange and far away, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with it, but it's an essential part of what we do day to day here to provide the parish and the services and all the things that we do so that we can draw together and worship God and live our lives as Catholics. So in the pews are appeal envelopes. A lot of you would have gotten one in the mail. If you're sitting next to one and you don't need it, go ahead and pass it down the line. If you need it, just keep it. But in the ends of the pews, we didn't get a lot this year because I think they rely on most of you to get it in the mail. If you see a white envelope, go ahead and grab that. Take that home. Even if you gave $10, to be honest, that it's just a sign that, like, hey, we're all in this together. And we'd really appreciate that. We have a goal that a certain number of families would participate each year. We've always kind of fallen short of that goal, which means there's some of you who are very generous and get us to our financial goal, which is really great. But I'd really encourage you, if you've never supported the diocese, there's a lot of ways that you do benefit from it, even if you don't see that. And just really encourage you to make some notion of that. Again, even if it's $10, throw cash in. Don't even put your name on it. That's fine. Send it in. But yeah, it's just today is the day to step back and realize we're part of something big. We require a lot of support and guidance. Yeah, and we can be grateful for that in our hearts, but also in very concrete ways.